welcome you back to the Nissan U.S. Championships presented by Xbox. The women's final is directly ahead, and one of the women in it, Holly McPeak, 63 wins, one of the great players in beach volleyball history, and a woman who is driven to be the best.
The physical part of my game is really important. I'm a small player. I get every serve. I have to dig every ball in transition. It's important that I'm in good shape. I throw myself around the court. You know, I do what it takes to win, and I'm very fortunate.
McPeak has it, and it's over the net and down.
People act like 33 is old. It's my 12th season, but I still feel like I did at 23. And as long as I'm physically healthy, I don't think my age is even close to being an issue. I've played for a long time, but 33 is not old in the sport.
McPeak flying and landing.
I knew I still had it in me to play great volleyball. And of course, people are always going to doubt me. Oh, the court's smaller, she's getting older, whatever it may be. I knew I could still win. I know I could be part of the best team in the world, and I want to be.
Holly McPeak and Elaine Youngs, the top-seeded team on the AVP Tour.
About a month before the season started, Elaine Youngs called me. I had been training with Diane Denekashe, who I think has a lot of potential and is improving every season. Elaine Youngs called me and said, you know, I'd like to play. And I was very surprised, but happily surprised. And I said, look, is this a real commitment, or do you want to, is this a temporary thing? She said, no, this is a real commitment. I want to see if we can do it.
McPeak and Youngs have won 4 in a row.
This has been one of my best seasons, but I've also had this type of success with different partners throughout my career. And I've just been patient, worked hard, and good things have happened.
Holly McPeak, a great player who is fun to watch and knows what she wants. Well, what happened in game 1 of the showdown between Holly McPeak, Elaine Youngs, and Jenny Jordan and Annett Davis? McPeak and Youngs, the #1 seeded team. Davis and Jordan primed for another try at an upset. Early on, it was Elaine Youngs on fire, but Jenny Jordan was playing well too, bombing the ball from the left side. But then Youngs put up the impenetrable block, started getting some roofing action. Holly started digging, passing, tapping, and game 1 went to McPeak and Youngs, 21-19. We're now going to pick up the action in game 2. McPeak and Youngs are up 4-3. Enjoy it. McPeak and Youngs have had a sensational summer. 4 straight wins. No team had ever or has ever won all the tournaments on the AVP Tour, but they are pretty close. They've had a magnificent summer. 4 firsts and a second. Here comes Youngs, and Youngs chops inside.
Chris, that's simply a mental error there for Jenny Jordan. They've got 2 straight points off of serving Holly McPeak. All of a sudden, they switch sides and serve to Elaine Youngs. That's just a mental error right there for Jenny.
Youngs so far with 10 kills and 3 blocks. Youngs the story in game 1. They won it 21-19. Now Youngs to serve. She rips the jumper. Nice pass by Davis. And one of the reasons they don't serve Davis, she is a big heater, a big, hard right spike.
Lethal. And, but for Holly and Elaine, they want to continue their aggressive play serving. So if a few balls go to Annett, so be it. They can still play defense. Elaine can still block Annett. And they're sticking with their game plan.
Annett Davis jump serve right down the middle. Nicely done. Youngs. Dig by Jordan. Jordan on the run, and she taps it. And it goes over.
Jenny Jordan using the equipment in transition. She'll take it any way she can get it. That was a great defensive play, dropping off the net, digging overhand, a la Jim Mingus. And then a little bit of luck in transition off the top of the net down for a big point.
Jim Mingus, of course, one of the great players in men's beach volleyball history, who is now the coach of Davis and Jordan. Not here this week, doesn't travel. There's a beautiful dig. Jordan on the run. And Davis scoops it over. Youngs. You don't have to hit the ball 3 times, do you, Mike?
You don't have to if you're Elaine Young's just sitting up there waiting for that ball to come over. And still, you've got to applaud Jenny and Annett for their quickness and defensive ability. Most teams not even going to get to that second ball.
So now Holly McPeak will serve it. She has won here in Chicago 4 times. This would be her 5th win if they can pull it out today. And as Jordan taps it inside. Elaine Youngs has also won here. She won her first tournament ever, July 13th, 1997, with the great Liz Massakayan. So Youngs, McPeak both have good feelings about playing here in Chicago.
And even in '97, I remember seeing Elaine Youngs and thinking, that girl is a thoroughbred. She is going to make a difference in this sport.
Poke long, Jordan gobbles it up. A chance to go ahead. Jordan whammo! Jenny Johnson-Jordan.
There's a little bit of a tight set there for Elaine Youngs, but still Holly McPeak not aggressive at the net. She's not swinging at all, and that plays into the hands of Davis and Jordan. They are so quick defensively, they can run down those shots. They even said it. That's the key to the game. Run down Holly's shots. Holly's got to start hitting the ball.
The court shorter by a meter on each side this year, 8 by 8. And of course, we're playing with the Wilson volleyball as Jordan will serve it. Gets the light floater, trying to get a knuckleball. And McPeak slugs it into the corner. So game 1 continuing here at the Nissan US Championships presented by Xbox. It's a 7-7 tie. Elaine Youngs, who has won nearly $500,000 in prize money, a basketball and volleyball star at UCLA. She will serve it. Part of the ambiance here in Chicago. Lots to do. Great fans. Neat place to play beach volleyball in the Midwest. Jordan. Oh, Jordan looks very confident hitting against Youngstown.
Jenny Jordan maybe having the best match of the summer offensively in service received, just pounding the ball. Her partner Annett giving her perfect sets, and Jenny's really moving the ball, really aggressive in her approach right now.
Second lead this game for Davis and Jordan. They led a moment ago at 7-6. Now Davis, see if she jump serves or floaters. Looks like jump serve posture. She whacks it hard. Good serve. And that is trouble for McPeak and Young's point.
And if you could draw it up on the board, exactly what Jenny and Annett want to do. They want to beat that jump serve and keep it consistently on Holly McPeak, make her prove herself siding out, and this is what they want to do. Annett Davis just ripping that ball, causing troubles, leading to an easy point.
If McPeak and Youngs appear a little bit sluggish, they have had a murderous travel schedule. They played in China a week ago and just returned on Monday, and then flew from California to Chicago on Thursday. We asked them in the media tent, did that flying, do you feel like you're jet lagged? And they said, absolutely not, we feel great.
No, you know, they've logged thousands of miles over the last 2 months, but I think this last trip to China, and we can talk about that a little bit later, really did a number on them, and they only were able to practice 1 time this week getting ready for Chicago.
Yeah, Holly was quite insistent about how awful that trip was to China. And she is never going back after suffering through the bus ride.
Fortunately, over the next 2 summers, you only need your 8 best finishes on the FIVB Tour to qualify for the Olympics. And for Holly and Elaine, I know that China will not be one of the tournaments they'll be going to.
10-8, Davis and Jordan. And McPeak there with a precise shot. Nicely done. They'll make it 10-9 now, Davis and Jordan. Once again, the first 2 games to 21. Game 3, if needed, to 15.
Interestingly, Chris, in the Manhattan Open, it was Jenny and Annett doing that little back 2, giving themselves some breathing room to side out and get into a rhythm. And I think for Holly McPeak, she's now come around behind Elaine a couple times doing that back 2, getting herself a couple of steady side outs.
Youngs going after Jordan. And Jordan taps it on the line.
Jenny shoots down the line, 11-9.
So Jordan gets her 12th kill. If you're new to volleyball, a kill is a successful spike. You can't get a kill if someone digs it. You have to terminate. 11-9, Jordan and Davis ahead. Rips it off the net. Young's on 2, and she taps it inside. So Elaine Young gets a point.
Takes a turn at 10-11.
We're going to continue at the Nissan US Championships presented by Xbox. 11-10 when we come back. Back live at the Nissan US Championships presented by Xbox. Before we get back to our women's final, might be interesting to take a look at the travel schedule of Elaine Youngs and Holly McPeak this summer. Initially, Los Angeles to Switzerland. Switzerland back to Los Angeles, over to Belmar Beach, and then on to Norway, Mike Dodd.
And from Norway, they continued back to Los Angeles, on to Montreal, another country, to Marseille, France. I tell you, Chris,
Racking up the frequent flyer miles.
you can compliment each other on the court, your skills, whatnot, but when you start playing internationally, you got to get along together.
They got some peanuts, and then they went to China. Over 50,000 miles traveled. Along with Mike Dodd and Rachel Perry, I'm Chris Marlowe. The Nissan US Championships presented by Xbox 2 weeks ago in Manhattan Beach. The same scenario, Mike Dodd. McPeak and Young's winning game 1 easily.
And there's so many emotions and scenarios that take place within a match. Jenny and Annett getting worked in the first game. The second game, it got a little bit tight, and Holly and Elaine started to make the mistakes.
Yeah, Davis and Jordan coming alive, playing good volleyball, scrambling behind and terminating. And game 2 going to Davis and Jordan. Then it was on to game 3. Davis and Jordan had a lot of confidence.
They had a lot of confidence, and speaking with Holly and Elaine, they just said we were mentally completely out of that match for the third game. And Annett and Jenny, you see they're pumped up, bringing home the Manhattan Open and their first win of the summer.
Heating up on center court, temperature at 90. Holly McPeak set to serve. Her team down by 1, 11-10. And over the top goes Jenny Jordan. So Jordan has been impeccable on serve receive, passing well and hitting well. Her team leads at 12-10.
Because she's just been mixing it up so well. She's bringing the heat, then chopping cross court, doing everything right offensively.
There's McPeak, and McPeak with a cut shot. Rolls along the net, inside the block, and McPeak gets another kill.
And for Holly McPeak, still not swinging away, but it is 2 or 3 straight side outs for points in a row for Holly McPeak. That's only going to help her get her rhythm.
Elaine Young's slated to start the year with Barbara Fontana, then have a revelation that she should call Holly McPeak and see if she wanted to play. She did, and the rest is history. The #1 team on the beach, forming late.
And speaking with Elaine, she said that's the single best volleyball decision she's ever made in her life. And you think about it, Elaine and Barbara Fontana, the previous year, 14 straight Final Four finishes. You switch over to Holly McPeak, and they've not only surpassed that record, but a lot more in the win category for Holly and Elaine.
Here goes Youngs. Nice up, overhand digging, and the put away. And you mentioned their coach, Jim Menges, one of the great overhand diggers. Explain the difference, underhand, overhand.
Well, underhand is a more traditional indoor type of defensive play where you just dig in your regular passing position. Overhand is when you get a little bit lower, get the hands up in front of your face, and really massage that ball over to your partner. That time, Annett Davis doing it to perfection.
So Davis will serve the biggest lead of the ball game, and it's going to be 15-11 as Davis gets the ace.
So in game 1, we see Elaine Young taking charge with the jump serve and the blocking at the net. Here we have Annett Davis taking control with her defensive play and her great jump serving ability.
No, you have not yet.
So Annett Davis, who played at UCLA, as Annette Buckner rips another one, and it's another ace. The 5th ace for Annett Davis, on fire.
All smiles for Davis Jordan right now.
Game 2, Jordan and Davis ripping McPeak and Youngs, leading 16-11. Back in Chicago, capacity crowd. Jenny Jordan and Annett Davis have been flawless here in game 2, Mike.
And Jenny Jordan has just been doing everything in service receive. beating off the top of the block, coming off defensively, making overhand digs. And right now, Jenny Jordan is just on a roll. She's in the zone. She's got the groove going on. And if you're Holly and Elaine, they said, in Manhattan, we lost our heads. We lost our strategy. They might want to start serving more to Annett.
Back to live action on center court as Elaine Youngs cuts it inside.
12-16.
And that was 3 bomb jump serves for Annett Davis. The third one, a great reception for Elaine Youngs, saving that side out for the point.
Now, Holly McPeak will serve. 7 tournament wins in 2000. Huntington Beach, Hermosa, Santa Barbara, and Belmar here in the United States. But they've also won international tournaments in Norway, France, and Greece.
You've got to really keep your eye right now on Holly and Elaine. Jenny and Annett, so loose, so in control right now. This is when Holly and Elaine put even more pressure on themselves, get even tighter, and consequently play worse.
Jordan down the line. Initially in game 1, McPeak and Youngs were serving Davis, and they scored points. They had an easy time in game 1, but they've gone to Jordan in game 2, and it's not paying dividends. Should they go back to Davis?
They should not only go back to Davis, but go back to playing more aggressively. If the serve goes to Davis, fine. If the serve goes to Jordan, play your aggressive style, and that's what they've lost, and that's what's causing them their problems in this second game.
Jenny Johnson, Jordan serving. On to Youngs. Boy, she's so good. I can't imagine anybody in beach volleyball, man or woman, that is better on that particular play. On 2.
So big, so athletic, and the beauty coming in from the left side as a right side player, it opens up the whole court to her, just like almost like a middle hitter indoors. She can see everything cut back, and she's so effective on 2.
Good serve there, short serve. Youngs turns around, takes a rip, and Davis can't get it. So Youngs and McPeak, they change strategy a bit. They go to the short serve.
They go to the short serve, and Elaine with a great drop off the net defensive play, something that might get her and Holly going. They need to get something to loosen themselves up. Right now they're so tight, they're putting so much pressure on themselves that they're not really moving cohesively in the defensive end.
Davis.
You see the frustration in Elaine Young. She was caught in the net. Another good point opportunity. Holly was there defensively. You see the frustration. Elaine just slapping the ball over with her left hand.
McPeak and Youngs won game 1. Here in game 2, Davis and Jordan getting most of the breaks and making most of the contacts. Now Davis serving again, 18-14. McPeak takes a swing and bounces it out of bounds. And McPeak is certainly not in her offensive rhythm.
And when you think of history repeating itself, it sounds cliche, but here we are. We were in the Manhattan Open with Holly and Elaine dominating the first game. And now the same thing has happened. They won the first, and Jenny and Annett have come back to really take control of the second game.
Youngs taps on 2. Boy, Youngs piling up. She's not getting served very much, but she's getting a lot of kills. That's her 16th kill. McPeak has 12. Davis has 7. Jordan has 14.
And Elaine Youngs picks up so many kills by hitting on 2, not just in service receive, but also in transition. She gets so many soft blocks, so many digs that Holly make. She actually tries to dig the ball up there close enough so that Elaine can hit it on 2, catching the defense off guard.
McPeak to serve. Her team down 19-15. They continue on Jordan. And Elaine Youngs gets caught, I hate to say it, Mike, in no woman's land.
That's the no person's land. Elaine Youngs dropping off the net on just a perfect set from Annett Davis. Again, that's tightness. You're not really thinking clearly out there in your defensive strategies. If Elaine's on her game, she's dropping on the poor sets and stuffing on the good sets, and conversely, she's doing the exact opposite.
Crowd is alive. The first game point for Davis and Jordan. And Youngs going on 2, and I think Young